Rise up, GG Nation, cause it's time for Guidance Guy Friday, your weekly guidance lesson from your internet school counselor. And happy College Colors Day! College football is back, and this year is going to be even better than ever. With 12 teams able to make it to the playoff, we're getting even more of what makes this sport special. More insane plays, more chaos, and the answer to the most important question we have this season: which marching band is going to have the best version of Not Like Us?
They not like us. They not like us.
And today, we're going to look at a team that's been making major moves the last 8 years, the University of Central Florida. The UCF football story is one of ride-or-die resilience, which is, if you recall, the ability to bounce back from tough times. And the Knights' brand of black and gold resilience has gotten them out of the lowest depths to the highest heights, as you'll soon see. But before we get started, be sure to spike that subscribe button and lob a like to this video. Let's go! It's guidance time!
And again, there's nothing wrong with your TV sets, folks. That's the stadium that's vibrating. Actually, we can feel a little bit up here.
Before we even get started, let's go over the 3 tips of resiliency real quick. Someone who is resilient is someone who blocks out the negative, is creative, and never gives up. And just like last week, see where you think the Knights use these traits. UCF has made a lot of noise in the college football world despite being a pretty young school. Unlike most universities that are so old their students could have gotten there on the first day of class in a horse and buggy, UCF was founded in 1963, only 61 years ago. And it wasn't even called UCF at the time. Back in the day, it was Florida Technological University, or FTU. And FTU didn't even have a football team until it renamed itself the University of Central Florida and transformed from the Centronauts to the Golden Knights. And for the record, we're called the Knights now. Don't call us Golden no more. It's like folk who still call country music country western. You just exposed your boomerness right there. They started in Division III and they clawed their way into the Division I football, where they played in 3 different conferences before finally breaking through into the big leagues and joining the Big 12 last year. And as if that wasn't resilient enough, in order to get into the Big 12, they had to win. And win they did. With 6 conference championships, 6 bowl wins, and even a national championship. Look, don't at me on this. It's recognized by the NCAA, so it counts. UCF has made a huge splash in college football in the last decade. A lot more than what some other schools can say about their less than stellar programs. But before getting to the biggest stage of the sport, the Knights had to go through some, let's call them growing pains.
150 throwing it. Schneider back to work. Got some time in the pocket, throwing down, picked off.
The date, September 3rd, 2015. The location, Bright House Network Stadium, where the Knights played. Their opponent, the FIU Golden Panthers. At this point, the Knights were coming off a conference championship and one of their best seasons last year. They'd played FIU before and had a winning record over them. This was their first game of the season. The hype was high, and Knight Nation was expecting the dub. However, the game was much closer than expected, ultimately coming down to a last-second field goal attempt in order for the Knights to clinch the win. There was one problem, though. This missed kick. This was not simply a mistake or a slip of the foot. This was a warning of just how bad the 2015 season was going to be. So, the football season has 12 games, not counting bowl games. You want to know how many games UCF won that year? I'm gonna give you a sec.
0.
In 2015, UCF lost every single game they played. A few games were close, but most were not. This was one of the lowest points that the Knights have ever seen, and it would have been easy for that kind of season to define an entire program. They could have accepted their fate and just stopped caring, satisfied with being a team that nobody takes seriously and has nothing but a legacy of trash.
Trash!
Oh yeah, I'm a hater.
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
But thankfully, this isn't the end of the story.
Giving this to Killings. In space where he's lethal. Killings taking it all the way.
The Black and Gold Brigade had to make some major changes in order to bounce back from a winless season. Enter Scott Frost, who went from the University of Oregon's offensive coordinator to UCF's new head coach. And from the West Coast, he brought with him a new offense, a new approach, and most importantly, a new mindset. A mindset of creativity, blocking out the negative, and not giving up. Hold up, where have I heard that before? But even with all that, the Knights needed time to reach their peak. In 2016, the year after they lost every game, UCF ended up going 6-7, a definite improvement from 2015, but you can't call that a winning season. But in 2017, The Knights were ready to put the college football world on notice. They went and dominated their competition. The Knights won every single game that season, with 8 games where they just wrecked the other team. All this winning got UCF their 6th conference championship, a victory over SEC giant Auburn, a Peach Bowl win, and that national championship we mentioned earlier. To this day, UCF is the only program in college football to go from winless to undefeated in a 2-year time span. And that season got people's attention. There were fans and there were haters, but by the end of the season, UCF had done what most had thought was impossible after the 2015 season. But let's make it personal. What's impossible for you?
For UCF, a landmark victory for a great kid and a great team.
What do TVs, cars, and planes have in common? 200 years ago, these things didn't exist. People couldn't even imagine being able to fly in the sky or not needing a horse or train to get around. And trust, a lot of fans of UCF thought that pulling off what they did back in 2017 was just as unrealistic. But once again, we see resiliency at work. And with our Knights, we learned another important aspect of resilience. Results take time. For our high-reaching, seemingly impossible goals, we need to remember that most times, we'll need to be patient in order to get our win. The Knights that went through the winless season and then the undefeated season, they had to wait through training camps, workouts, film sessions, and oh yeah, a few losses. But if we're blocking out the negative, not giving up while being creative, we will see results. UCF did all that and waited patiently until they could hang a banner at Spectrum Stadium. And when we do the same, we get closer to our own win, one step at a time.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
Welcome back to the Character Corner, where we're going to wrap up our look on mentorship. It looks like a big word, but the reality is a mentor is just a teacher who instructs someone on something specific. Looking back at our UCF story, Scott Frost and his team of coaches who got the Knights to an undefeated season are great examples of mentors. And let's not forget the 3 traits of a great mentor, if you're on the lookout for one. They gotta be great at what they do, they have to have time to mentor you in their ways, and make sure you like them and they're feeling you too. Success is always a team effort, and having the right person guiding you in the right direction with a little resilience is often all we need to get that success. And now it's time for you to return to the classroom. Don't forget to do the YouTube thing. Like and subscribe to get this video out to more people. Until next time, GG Nation, Guidance Guy out.